guest this evening won a Pulitzer Prize for his first book, Angela's Ashes, which has been on the New York Times bestseller list for a record 103 weeks. Please welcome Mr. Frank McCourt. You know, I want to start off by saying 103 weeks. That's just amazing.
2 years.
I've worked that out myself. Yeah, that's actually pretty. 103 weeks. That's incredible, but it brings up a problem. I come from an Irish family. I know that Irish people getting praise or having success it can be a problem with other Irish people, can't it?
Yeah, there's something in Ireland called begrudgery. Raise your head and they chop it off. If you become successful, you better prove it. As a matter of fact, there's a definition of Irish Alzheimer's. You forget everything but the grudge.
Well, you know what's amazing about it is that there is something there. They want you to do well, they wish you well, but they don't want you to put on airs.
No,
Isn't
you
that
can't
right?
put on. Oh no, you can't put on airs because that's an affectation. That belongs in the material world, and we know from being good Roman Catholics that the only thing that matters is the next world, where you'll get your reward in your bed in heaven and so on.
Right. So you're not supposed to look like you're too proud.
Don't flaunt it.
Right. So when people say to you, "Congratulations, 103 weeks on the bestseller list," you hang your head in shame.
I'm taking a course in remedial humility.
All right. Well, very good. I'd like to join that.
And it's easy for me to be humble anyway, because this whole thing is a big surprise to me. I didn't expect. I wrote a book mainly about poverty and misery with a little humor here, and then I didn't expect that people were going to take to it like this. I just got a letter from a surgeon in India, Pondicherry. He said I was his brother because he had a poor upbringing. If I had grown up in India, I'd been untouchable.
Why is that?
Well, because we were so low on the social scale in Ireland. We were just above inanimate matter.
Right.
The only things we had an appetite, so we were classified as animate human beings.
But I mean, you talk about it so much in the book about your humble beginnings, and they continued even here in New York when you moved here.
Oh, the humble beginnings, they thought, even now I'm a very humble man as I sit here talking to you. I'm surprised by all of this. When I came to New York, I had no education. I left school when I was 13. And the only job I could get was in the Biltmore Hotel, which was over near Grand Central. And I'm the guy, you were one of them. Well, this was a little early for your time. The Ivy League kids would come down, and the Radcliffe's, Bryn Mawr, Vassar kids. And they'd hang around the lobby in the Biltmore Hotel on Thursday afternoon. It was a pickup place, Thursday and Friday. And I'm the one who went around with the broom and the dustpan and cleaned up after these waspy types. And most of the time I kept...
How did I become a wasp? Someone call my mother. She'd be so delighted that we're Protestant now, you know.
This is what you were hanging out with, and it rubs off.
Oh, there you go. All right.
And I was looking at those girls from Vassar and places like that, and they were all long-legged and had auburn hair and bosoms that were apocalyptic. I committed that dreadful sin. I coveted them. Because thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, even if they weren't married. So I spent a lot of time coveting, which is a sin. I still have to go to confession over that one. And for one reason or another, they took me off that job. And in the lobby and in the 19th floor, they had cages, birds, canaries. And they put me in charge. They took me away from human beings. So they put me in charge of the birds.
Because you were inanimate matter. Or animate matter. Just barely.
Slightly animate, slightly articulate. So they gave me the job of keeping the bird cages clean and keeping the birds fed and watered. And then I really got weary of those birds because I was doing a bit of drinking in those days up and down Third Avenue, which was one long Irish bar. I fell into the stereotype of the drinking Irishman. And I'd stay and I'd neglect the birds, and they began to die. And I got desperate because this is the only job I had. I didn't have a high school diploma. They pitched me out into the street, and I had to get a job as a, I don't know, a politician or something. So,
or a talk show host, yeah. Something desperate.
That'd be all right. But the birds began to die, and what I did was, to save myself, I climbed up my aluminum ladder and I took them and glued them to their perches so that they wouldn't, I mean, they weren't singing much, but they could be seen.
Yeah.
And my boss I'd keep my job. But then I had a 3-day weekend one time, around St. Patrick's Day, and of course I went off and I roisted around. And when I got back, there was a note on my time card, report to the superintendent, Mr. Carey. He said, McCourt, what did you do to the birds? I said, what birds, Mr. Carey? I'm not talking about the damn swallows of Capistrano. I'm talking about 39 canaries dead in their cages. I said, oh, well, they must have died while I was out, Mr. Carey. Oh, yeah, what they do, get up and glue themselves to their perches before they... So that... And, look...
A really indefensible position.
I'm not... my subscription to the Audubon Society has expired.
It will now, yeah. I want to mention this before, I wish we had more time, but I want to mention you're doing a musical review now.
I put together a thing called The Irish and How They Got That, which is playing at the Irish Repertory Theatre on 22nd Street. It's all about the Irish and how they got the way, you know. I don't know what brought
I was hanging out with the Waspy girls at the Bosoms. Well, I don't know. I've lost touch with my Irish roots.
You were moving up. I still covet Wasp. I married one.
You did?
I did. One of those Biltmore Hotel types, and I haven't recovered from it. My mother used to say, stick with your own.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're doing what you're doing. The Irish and How They Got That Way is now playing at the Irish Repertory Theatre in New York City, and if you haven't read Angela's Ashes, go out, read the book. It's simply amazing. Frank, thank you so much for coming back. Frank McCourt, everybody. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, folks, that is our show for the evening. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Stay tuned for Friday night.